Kerry did was he said, it is not unreasonable to say this is my capital investment that I'm making $500,000 or $600,000. Engineering services is typically around 15 to 20% of that number. But so that's where I think you came up with your number,
It's just,
which is not an unreasonable dart to throw at the board. But again, it comes back to time. It is all about how long it takes.
And a perfect example was when we came before you for increasing our inspection budgets, because the contractor was working, we originally estimated 8 hours a day. They're going to be working 10 hours a day. They're going to be working 6 days a week, because all of our time and money is based upon how many days and how many hours we're there observing and making sure the contractors are properly coordinated. We're coordinating with the contractors to make sure that the electrician's done, but the plumbing guy got in there. Then, UW Marks came over and they did what they needed so the electrician could put his stuff on it. So it really comes down to, are they going to work 6 days a week, 7 days a week? Are they going to work 10 hours, 12 hours a day?
Embedded in that is keeping the plant running at the same time.
That's the challenge. That's the big challenge. And we're telling the contractors that they are responsible to George Loveland, that George is responsible for the operation of that plant. And if the contractors are doing something that are going to affect how that plant operates, George tells them, no, you can't do that until this. So that has been going on this entire process. All of the staff at the plant have been working hand in hand with everybody. And that's why it's an unfortunate, it's a group effort. It's not any one individual's responsibility to it. It's everybody's responsibility to work together to make sure the plant is functioning properly, construction is progressing within the schedule that's necessary, and that they're not making any shortcuts. Shortcuts will affect the durability of the work, the life expectancy, and so on.
Hey, Jeff, so if we had, let's say we picked this up at 325, 350.
Sounds good.
Does that sound better? My point is, Councilwoman Matters has got a concern. She's trying to get a feel for what it's going to cost. She's also asking George, how does he feel? So George, how do you feel about 325, 350? If that number hit 3 months from now, what would your response be?
Mike is 100% correct. How would that be covered in the 2015 budget?
If it's covered by insurance, it would be covered by insurance,
No, no.
obviously.
The out-of-pocket.
But assuming that it's a 350 out of pocket, that's basically an equity rate. It's a huge equity rate. So to answer your question, it's not something I'm really comfortable with, but it is the richest fund in our town. There are, I mean, you said there's 4 different sewer funds, so some of them aren't as rich as the others. But,
So George, I guess what I want to hear you say, if you can, is it something that you sitting here now can say that you can work through? That's what I think. There's some reassurance here. Can you say that town can work through that?
I've worked through a $3 million deficit.
Okay, but I haven't heard that yet. Okay, and I think that's what they're looking for.
15 to 17 million, I don't want to be hearing. $1 million, I don't want to be hearing. And delay is the only thing that puts $1 million in place. So that is what I'm most uncomfortable with right now. Anything that delays is adding more on the tail end of this, and that's an unending number. And I can't allow that.
Well, we got the reports. I hope I'll have an answer this week or next.
An answer about what? Does anybody else have anything they want to share? Rick? Want to say anything? Speak now, because I know we're going to get home and you're going to start wrapping up.
You're the board member now, not me.
I know, but you were, so, let's be real. What do you want to say?
I think Mike Foreman captured very much a good portion of the essence of what their concerns are.
Yeah.
I think the bottom line here is you have insurance. It's clear. You have town's insurance, you also have the contractor's insurance. Now, in terms of culpability with this whole incident, that all gets subrogated. I think that there's an understanding that that's part of the process. At the end of the day, that presumably gets shaken out through that process. In the short term, as far as your fiduciary obligations go regarding binding finances, you need to know the bottom line, worst case scenario in terms of what the town could face. It's not covered by the insurance. And what's not, and what is going to be out of pocket regarding the deductible. These are things that have to be accounted for. There's no money in the checking account to write it out in 2015. You got to borrow it. It's real simple. and the town has had a propensity in the past, I sat up there for 6 years and I watched a lot of things go on for which we had new money. And all of a sudden it was, you know, these things became an epiphany on the part of people later on. They don't want any epiphanies later on. They want to know now, and that's the concern they have now. It's clear that I know this gentleman here in the little polo and indicated that this thing's a floater in terms of...
Karen, right here?
Yeah, this gentleman right
Yeah,
here.
Karen.
Yes, thank you. In terms of these costs accruing, if you will, because it's the nature of the beast in terms of knowing what these figures are going to be down the road. But when all said and done, I think both these ladies are looking for the comfort level, and I think Mike touched on that very eloquently. And that's really it, Mary Ann. I think, you know, you've obviously expressed your concerns, and I think you still have it.
I do, and I'm relying on George to, really, George, I think of you as the most important man in town. I need to know, I need to be, you know, we're talking about insurance, but I need assurance that, you know, we're in a comfortable place. But I also heard what Dave said. What choice do we have? At the end of the day, likened to a house fire, what choice do you have? You have to do it.
Yeah.
We can't, time is money.
Yeah, I think that's a promise, like a lot of times. You got two bad choices.
Yeah, we can't keep holding it up.
Right, in other words, do we go for these things, you know, we think we certainly have insurance coverage on the capital stuff. We think we have insurance on the soft costs, and we're going to know that shortly. But the other side, so if we choose that, you know, then there's some imponderables there, or, you know, we've got some ballpark costs here. But if we go the other way, if we don't do it, then we really face a sea of difficulties with the delay claims and just sort of and you know what Joe talked